Today, we move from quiet garden paths to neon city lights. But what unexpected moments unfold between the Mekong and Saigon's night sky? Do you know how your favorite exotic fruits grow? Have you ever seen a river change direction overnight? And what secrets do Saigon's neon lights reveal after dark? Join me as we discover these places and stories together. This morning, the Mekong surprised me. The river was flowing in the opposite direction from yesterday, as if it had changed its mind overnight. I watched the river drifting quietly in front of me, its calm surface pulling my attention like a slow-moving mirror. Something about the way it flowed kept me mesmerized. As the sun climbed higher, its light spilled across the surface, turning the water into a shifting mirror of gold and silver. Every ripple caught the rising glow, and for a moment, the whole river looked alive, breathing with the new day. With that mystery still in my head, I wandered into the Homestay Gardens for one last look. The first thing you notice are the towering coconut trees, rising high above everything else, their fronds catching the early light. A few steps further, the mango trees spread out wide, their branches heavy with young fruit waiting for the season to turn. Several varieties of mango trees filled this part of the garden, each one carrying dozens of hanging fruits, some still green, others turning gold, all ripening at their own pace. It felt like walking through a living timeline of the season. As I crossed the concrete footpath, I spotted something that stopped me in my tracks. Tucked between the taller trees were two starfruit trees, absolutely loaded with fruit. Their branches were glowing in the morning light, each star-shaped fruit hanging like bright yellow ornaments. It felt like stumbling onto a hidden treasure in the middle of the homestay grounds, a little surprise waiting just off the path. Elsewhere in the garden, I came across a cluster of banana trees, their heavy bunches hanging in place, quietly waiting for their turn to ripen. And tucked at the edge of the garden is a small pool surrounded by water coconut palms, their roots twisting into the earth like something ancient. Beyond the dozens of fruit trees, the garden had bursts of color everywhere, beautiful flowering shrubs tucked between the greenery, adding bright splashes of red, pink, and yellow that made the whole place feel alive. But the true stars of the garden were the towering coconut trees. They rose high above everything else, their crowns packed with huge, heavy coconuts swaying gently in the morning breeze. No matter where you stood, these giants dominated the skyline, giving the whole garden a sense of tropical grandeur. After exploring every corner of the garden, I made my way back to the patio, where the rest of the group was already gathered, waiting for breakfast to be served. The quiet flow of the river beside us and the soft light of early morning created a feeling I can only describe as inner peace. It's the kind of calm you rarely experience, a moment where everything slows down and you realize how lucky you are to be here. And I wanted to share that moment with you. Looking at the stairs beside the patio, you can really see how dramatically the river has fallen overnight, enough to reverse its flow. The drop looks close to 4 or even 5 feet, leaving the steps exposed, like a quiet marker of how much the water has retreated. As the morning unfolded, the river slowly woke up too, its usual traffic easing back into motion. You could hear each boat long before you saw it, that low engine hum growing steadily as it approached, then fading into the distance like a passing whisper across the water. After
After breakfast, our attention drifted to a muddy bank nearby, where a lively troupe of mud skippers was putting on a full-blown performance. For a good while, we stood there, completely entertained, watching them flip, hop, and wriggle across the wet clay like tiny acrobats. Mud skippers are one of the few fish that can actually walk on land, using their strong pectoral fins like little arms. They breathe through their skin and the lining of their mouth and throat, which lets them stay out of water for long stretches. And when they're feeling bold, they'll even defend their territory with dramatic jumps and push-ups, exactly the kind of antics we were watching unfold in front of us. It was an unexpected little show, and somehow one of the most memorable moments of the morning.
After a while, the mud skippers slowed their antics, and the riverbank settled back into its quiet rhythm. With that, we headed back to the homestay to pack up our overnight things and get ready for the journey ahead. But before leaving, we made sure to capture one last memory, a photo with our wonderful host, whose warmth and hospitality made this stay feel like home. We boarded the bus and settled in for the long ride back to Saigon, carrying the warmth of the Mekong homestay with us. Those quiet river mornings, the gardens heavy with fruit, the laughter with our host, all of it lingered vividly, turning the journey into a gentle drift through fresh memories that felt too good to let go. Before long, we were swept right back into Saigon's vibrant chaos. The horns, the crowds, the pulse of the city rising around us as we made our way to the hotel for a well-earned free afternoon. Meeting up with An that evening, we headed out for a stroll along Pho Di Bo Nguyen Hue, taking in the glowing buildings and the vibrant lights that bring Saigon's walking street to life at night. One of the first buildings that really stood out was the Times Square building, rising above Nguyen Hue with its sleek glass facade and vibrant vertical lights. At street level, the golden entrance shimmered under the evening glow, giving the whole structure a bold, modern presence that instantly pulled my attention. As we continued, we passed the famous Cafe apartment building, its balconies stacked with glowing signs and colorful storefronts. Each floor felt like its own little world, buzzing with cafes, boutiques, and creative studios, turning the whole facade into one of Saigon's most vibrant landmarks. On the opposite side of the walkway, the world-famous Bitexco Financial Tower rose into sight, its sleek glass facade catching the last light of the evening. High above the street, the tower's signature cantilevered helipad jutted out like a futuristic wing, giving the whole building a bold, unmistakable silhouette against the Saigon skyline. The Bitexco Financial Tower is one of Saigon's most iconic modern landmarks, a 68-story skyscraper inspired by the shape of a lotus, Vietnam's national flower. Completed in 2010, it stands at 262 meters and was once the tallest building in the city. Its most striking feature is the circular helipad that juts out from the 52nd floor, giving the tower its instantly recognizable silhouette. As the drone rises, you can really appreciate how this glass-clad giant anchors the skyline and symbolizes the city's rapid rise into the future. As we approached the far end of Nguyen Hue Walking Street, the massive lotus fountain came into view, its petals glowing in shifting colors, sending arcs of water into the night air. Passing by its spray, the walkway opened up to the Ho Chi Minh statue, standing calm and dignified at the center of the plaza. And just beyond him, illuminated in warm golden light, rose the historic City Hall, its French colonial architecture forming a striking backdrop to this iconic Saigon scene. For our final evening in Vietnam with An, we went to a rooftop restaurant overlooking the city for our final dinner together. With Saigon glowing beneath us, it felt like the perfect setting to reflect on a fascinating journey, one made truly special by An's warmth, her guidance, her stories, and her incredible knowledge of everything Vietnam. Back at the hotel, we gathered for a final group photo, a snapshot of new friendships and shared adventures before saying our goodbyes to her. Tomorrow marks the start of a whole new chapter. We'll meet our next guide, Dika, for a welcome dinner and get introduced to the new members joining us for the upcoming leg of the journey, the one that takes us across the border and into Cambodia.